Okay, so now let's take a look and see how using the inverse function will play out in a problem. If you look at example 2, you'll notice that instead of finding a missing side, we're actually looking for the missing angle theta, and we're given certain parts of the triangle. So in this particular case, we're given a 9 for the hypotenuse and a 5 for one of the legs. So the key is really identifying what are the relationships in relation to angle theta. And we can see that side 5 is the adjacent to angle theta. And of course we have the hypotenuse. And if we take adjacent over hypotenuse, we remember that that is relative to cosine. Now this time when we substitute in values, we actually have an adjacent and a hypotenuse. And so we have a 5 and a 9. And so it's the angle measure that we're looking for. And you can see here in the solution that we're going to use the inverse function of cosine. And we're just going to use that on our calculator. And again, just a quick hit on the calculator. If we come back in here, and then we do trig, and then we put in 5 divided by 9. Now this is, you can simply do this and use the preset template and hit enter. Again, I apologize, mine is set to and so we can see that we have approximately 56.3 degrees. You could also do this as well. You could just do 5 divided by 9 decimal and come up with it that way also. So you can use a template or you can use the division sign inside that parentheses. Either way will work. So, and that gives us our degree measure. So simple little problem, straightforward. Try sample problem number 2 on your own and come back in a second and take a look at the answer. Okay, so if we look here, in relation to theta, we actually have the hypotenuse and we have the opposite. So we know we're dealing with sine here. So we're going to say sine of theta equals opposite, which is 7, over hypotenuse of 12. To get theta by itself, I'm actually going to apply the inverse to both sides, which is going to leave me the inverse of sine 7 over 12. And if I use my calculator to get that, that's going to be approximately 35.7, but then we need to pay attention to the directions, which tell us to actually round that to the nearest degree. So that would be 36 degrees, and that would be our final answer. Alright, so this should look very familiar to you from what you learned how to do in geometry. Probably the initial thing that you need to learn how to do differently than what you did in geometry was use your calculator with the TI Inspire. So, alright, get some practice on that.